Welcome back to CETV. We have a new product in here today, a Fujifilm new product. I'm very excited to present to you guys my new friend as well. Welcome back to CETV. I'm very excited to talk about the new Fujifilm, the XS20. And to do so, we brought Janice. Janice, introduce yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me on. So I'm part of the Fuji X-S20 camera group. I enjoy travel photography. I run a personal photography blog called travelinglens.co. And yeah, thanks for having me today.
Thanks for coming. So the Fuji group, you say it's a Facebook group, right?
Yes, it's a Facebook group. Yeah, where it's pretty much like Fujifilm camera enthusiasts, where we, I guess, have an online group where we chat about photography, share photos, ask questions if we had technical questions about the camera, things like that. So yeah, it's like a really fun sort of group to be part of, and we also try and organize like in-person meetups in the different cities in Australia as well. So that's always fun to meet different photographers who are also interested in this camera and just passionate about photography.
Like-minded people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really fun. Like, I've been working with cameras for a while now, and I haven't found any other manufacturer that have a group of followers, and it's people that help each other.
Yeah.
So it's like we critique. So I say we, 'cause I'm part of the group as well. We critique some of the photos when there is that to be critiqued, but like most of the photos, I just go there and I look what everyone else been doing, and I'm baffled by her work. It's just so amazing. And this group, we have people from Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, that's it. And I think you've hit on a really good point. Like, I think everyone's really supportive and everyone's just like passionate about photography, and, you know, you share photos and, you know, you might have critiques and things like that, but I think everyone's actually really supportive and like really encouraging, whether you're a new person or not, to photography.
When I say critique, it's like, it's a good critique.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, like talking about, what about this? Have you thought about that? And then like every time that I read those things as well, it's like having a photography class.
Yeah, so true.
Gives me new ideas, and then I go out and shoot things a little bit differently to try some other things. So I think it's an amazing group. So congratulations for you guys to putting this together. It's really, really fun. For how long you've been taking photos?
Oh, probably 12, 14 years, quite a while. I enjoy photography. I guess the main photography that I enjoy doing is travel photography. So when I go on any trips, I always make sure I bring a camera with me. And in terms of other types of photography that I also enjoy doing, I do a bit of everything, you know, interior photography, documentary style sort of family photography, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You do that professionally, or you do that for your friends and family?
Bit of both. Yeah. So the travel photography, definitely a personal thing. So every time I go traveling, that's just something I enjoy doing. Like, you know, just photos is a great way of remembering the places that you've been, what you've experienced. And I like, I guess, writing about it and sharing it, like whether it's in the group or whether it's on the photography blog. I guess it's a way of me kind of reflecting on my experiences, but also had a place to share them as well. I do some professional gigs, I guess, but it's not my full-time job.
Yeah, fair enough. And what have you been shooting with? What is the cameras that you've been shooting with?
So my go-to camera that I usually use would be the Fujifilm X-T4. And yeah, recently I've managed to try out the Fujifilm XS20, and it was a really fun camera to use.
That's awesome. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about the XS20. So Janice had the XS20 for what, about a weekend?
Yeah, a weekend.
This is a demo unit still. It's not on the market just yet, but it's coming there. And as soon as I saw that camera, I was like, oh, I have the perfect person to try this out because it's a camera that's really good for street photography as well. It's just so tiny and so light that it just works really well. Like it doesn't, and if it's nice, and if you incorporate people on your street photography as well, because this thing is so tiny, people don't take it seriously. So they keep on doing their own thing, and that's what you want on street photography, is them not to change what they were doing because of the size of the camera or anything like that. So I just think it works really well. So I was like, you know what, let's try this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Tell us a little bit more. So what do you want to photograph with it?
Yeah, so I got to take it out walking around the city or Perth City, and I also took it out to Fremantle as well. So I tried a little bit of everything. So primarily street photography, street urban architecture type photography, and also did some more like people, food kind of photography as well. It's a really good all-rounder, definitely super easy to use, super lightweight. You pair it with like a prime lens or like a zoom lens that's lightweight. It does a really, really good job of just like picking it up, and even if you don't really know photography, you'll be able to basically get going with it.
To figure out a little bit. I find it impressive that nowadays the cameras are getting so expensive, and there is less features on them. For example, look at this. It's a flash.
Yeah, exactly.
Nowadays you buy professional cameras with like 3 times the cost of this and doesn't even come with the flash. This one has a pop-up flash and it's very, very cute. Looks very easy to use as well. That XS20 is the first camera that Fujifilm put out, and they're calling it a hybrid mirrorless. So it's a camera that is focused as well into video creation. The sensor is 26.1 megapixel, and it films in up to 6K.
Yes, that's what I heard. I didn't try it myself with 6K, but that's what I heard.
If it's 30 frames per second, you can shoot in 6.2K. If you want 4K, then you need to go 6 frames per second. But that's very, very impressive for something that is so tiny. They definitely done this thinking about vlogging and the whole YouTube thing being like 4K and like high definition and all that. So it's really, really nice that this little body can do something like that.
Definitely. For that sort of, entry-level price point, it's amazing features. Definitely for travelers, content creators, anyone who's, I guess, just interested in picking up photography. It's like a really great camera to pick up as your first camera for sure.
I agree. And there is the new things that there is for that camera. Now that we're talking about vlogging, it has a dial on top that says vlog. All you need to do is put it in there, and the camera is going to pretty much adjust everything to be vlogging as smooth as possible. The other thing that I think Fuji done for people that vlog is the flip out. What is the name of it?
Articulate screen. Flip out screen, yeah.
Yeah, the flip out screen goes like that. So if you were vlogging, you can see as well what's going on, which is quite handy. Very, very nice.
So something else that's really great about the camera that I liked is that it's got a really good grip. So even though it's a small camera, it's actually really comfortable to just use pretty much all day because you feel really, it's really comfortable in your hands.
That's true. I agree with that. It's maybe people that have big hands are going to struggle a little bit, but at the same point, like it feels really, really nice and solid in the hands. The dials as well, they're quite nice on top.
Yeah, definitely. And very, very clear what you're going to use it for.
Touching a little bit on the autofocus, have you tried anything on the autofocus? Do you have anything to tell us about it? Or
yeah, I think the autofocus is really good. I mean, it's definitely kind of next level. So I've got an X-T4, and the autofocus on this, you can tell it's a better sensor. It's a quicker autofocus. It's got lots of different modes as well for autofocus that I think is really handy if, again, you're sort of new to photography or you just want to do something quickly. It's got like the animal mode and bird mode, that sort of thing. So that's really handy.
That's true. So nowadays the camera is introducing more and more different kind of autofocus. And the newer cameras, like the very expensive and new cameras are introducing something like the train and stuff like that. And those are features that you can see on this camera already as well. So as an entry level, Fujifilm is going to put everyone else. It's just like, it's really hard to compare with something like that.
Yeah.
I was very impressed as well. So I shoot Fujifilm as well. And the autofocus on my camera is a little bit different because it's a lot older than this one there. One of the first things I've realized is when I put into face detection, it finds the eye like this.
Yeah, it's so good at tracking for sure.
It's really, really good on tracking. The whole tracking situation works really well as well if you are vlogging. So if you're vlogging and you put in continuous shoot and trying to find the eye, even if you move around, it goes following you as well. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
We are not really vlogging people, so we haven't really tried that. I have tried in other people, not really on vlogging on me. But if it works in other people, it's going to work on me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Something really, really cool that only Fujifilm cameras have as well is the film simulations. Can you explain to us a little bit more about what it is, the film simulation, for people that don't really shoot Fuji?
Yeah. Sure.
She calls it film sim. It's like her best friend already, you know, but there is people that don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, sounds good. I think one of the really fantastic things about Fujifilm camera is their Fujifilm film simulations. So Fujifilm historically has been known for producing fantastic film in the traditional analog camera sense. And they've basically been able to translate their color science knowledge and expertise into something that's digital. So they've basically converted their analog film styles into digital film styles, which they call film simulations. So there's things like classic chrome, there's things like nostalgic neg. These are just different names of pretty much presets that are available for you to select. And it basically gives you pretty much a fully edited photo without you having to upload it onto your computer, edit it, and then, you know, do something else with it. So it's really great to just have that ready to go, especially, again, if you're sort of a beginner or just getting started in photography. It's a fantastic way of getting started.
Exactly. The film simulations are really, really fun to work with as well. So when I'm shooting Fuji, I shoot RAW and JPEG because if I need to tweak the RAW, I have it in there just for the peace of mind. But I find myself just never really touching the RAW, always going to the straight out of camera film simulation. So I have some film simulations that are my favorite ones, and that's the one that I have been shooting. Like on a sunny day, I have something just like that I use more for sunny days. I have something else that I use more for like days they're not sunny. I suppose the white balance is a bit different, so then that makes the difference as well. The very cool thing about this camera is that it has 19 film simulations already from the camera, which is really, really cool. I don't even know on top of my head how many my camera has.
Yeah, I don't know mine either, but with the new version of the sensor, they've added new film simulations to it, so that's really cool.
Correct. And the new one of the new ones that they have it in there is the nostalgic neg.
Yeah, that's
what
a new
one. What do you feel about that one?
I think it's a really cool new film simulation. I don't have it on my own camera. When I was shooting in Fremantle and in Perth City, I tried that primarily, and it's got this really old kind of faded look.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah,
it's very desaturated. It's very, very fun as well. I'm laughing because I think we've done the same thing. As soon as I touched this camera, I went straight to that simulation, and then I went doing some snaps to see what's going to happen. So if you have a sky on the photo using that film simulation, the blue is not super blue. It gets a little bit silver and like super moody. Very, very desaturated, but it's desaturated in a way that just looks cool with everything else.
Yeah.
I think that those film simulations are really, really good for people that don't really know where to start on the color grading as well. And the color grading process can take forever, and it's very, very. The word is the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want with it. So it's hard to make a decision as well.
Yeah, so many good film simulations in there for sure.
Awesome. And speaking on how to make a decision, sometimes what happens to me as well is that I have all those simulations and I don't know which one to use, which one looks better. with the image that I'm doing at the moment. Now, this camera has an auto filter. So if you put it in there, the camera is going to tell you what it thinks is the best film simulation that you should be using to the scenario that you are at. So I think that's a very good like start point. The person that can't really make a decision on what film simulation to use, put it on auto, take a shot, have a look on it, see if the camera got it right, because I guarantee you the camera will get it right most of the times.
Yeah, it's a great feature to have for sure when you're a bit overwhelmed with choice. Just put it on auto.
I agree. One of the questions that I get a lot is people asking me, what is the best camera? And like the best camera doesn't exist. It's what is the best camera for what your needs are, right?
For sure.
So this camera, what do you think would be the best, kind of person to own this camera?
Yeah, so it's definitely a great beginner camera. If you are interested in photography and you kind of don't know where to start, it's a great camera to get started because it's got all the manual features that you can learn and get into. But it's also got fantastic automated features as well, like autofocus, different modes, different automated filters and stuff like that. So if you already have a camera and you're looking for a second camera that's super easy to use, that has auto mode, that's the camera for you. If you're interested in like traveling, if you're interested in blogging, creating video content, again, that's the perfect target audience as well for this camera.
The other cool thing as well to mention is that the film simulation also works on the video. So if you're doing vlogs with that, you don't even need to color grade your vlogs.
Yeah, that's a fantastic feature because I think video is one of those things that is really hard to get into because it's, pretty technical and there's a lot more layers to it. And this hybrid camera just makes it super easy to learn how to use video and just get straight into video without all the technical works.
One of my biggest issues when I was starting with doing videos and vlogs was because the program that we use, and everyone uses that program, is the same program. It crashes all the time. It just crashes, and then some things you were doing get saved and some other things don't. So the amount of times that I had to edit the same session over and over again because the thing would just crash is unbelievable. So if you don't even need to color grade, all you need to do is chop and glue it together. So we take out of the thinking and then do the video. And that's all you need to do. That's mind-blowing in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Like the content creation part is definitely what it's great for.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for coming. And thank you so much for accepting the challenge of have this for only 2 days and come on the video and talk about it with me. I really appreciate it. I love your work, love your photography.
Thank you.
If you guys like this kind of video, like the video, that helps a lot. And subscribe to our channel as well so you don't miss out on any other video that we put out like this. Bye. I'll see you later.